we went through a brief period of kind of romance illusion. I did anyway.
Discover myself, like that's where it all started, my like spiritual journey basically.
I'm gonna tell you what went through my mind, my first impression, and what I can remember of the day.
Yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to like go into.
Whatever it was about your presence and your energy, I felt worthy.
Like I remember thinking that you are literally doing all the things that I want to do, but I'm too scared to do because I lack that type of confidence.
My psychic abilities were enhanced whenever you were around. When we did get to a kind of a toxic place, we consciously talked about it.
I started to see this light within me that you helped me see.
No matter how much you want to tie her down and do dirty things to her, you got to let that go, because that can't have a hold over you. You know?
Yeah.
Please don't feed the demons, they get big and you only see them. Please don't feed the demons, accepting them is the only way to defeat them.
What is the crack? Welcome to Empty Space, my interview series or a video podcast where you can fill it with what you want. And today I have Moa Simborn, your absolute legend, aka my divine name. And we're going to talk about how we met, what we went through, what we learned, and how beautiful I feel like the connection still is. Tell people who you are and what you do.
I don't really know. I don't have this like thing really going on right now. I'm just kind of like emptying myself and rediscover myself, really.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot going on, but
yeah.
What I wanted to talk about is for the people out there, we went through a brief period of kind of romance illusion. I did anyway.
We're doing it.
I wanted to talk about that. Sorry, I just need to turn my phone down, right? Getting loads of responses from the other video I just posted there, which is decent. But what I want to do is I want to talk about what we learned. So let's take people back, right? You came to Cork. Yeah. You went to Cork City when?
When was it? Like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, around that time.
So you were in Cork City and you were working for charity, weren't you? Working on the street.
Yeah, I was doing charity, and I was visiting my cousin, and I was just like having this soul journey, discovering new things, and I was just wanting to discover new parts of me, and like I was really in this whole awakening experience. So yeah, I was just really going with the flow there, and so I started working there, and yeah, I was living with my cousin basically and doing that, living with her.
What did you come for? What was the intention?
Yeah, it was just to like, I don't really know, just discover myself. Like that's where it all started, my like spiritual journey basically. And yeah, I don't really know. It was just a like very spontaneous thing, the whole trip, and everything just fell into place, like the whole work and everything.
So the day that we met was when we were handing out free hugs. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was working that day.
So myself and a group of the lads were going around giving out free hugs, even though hugs are free anyway, but we just said we'd actively go hug people. Well, Luke set it up and invited me along. So shout out to Luke.
That was really an awesome day. Yeah. I love him.
I actually was looking back. I was looking through your Instagram the other day, right? And I seen the photo. You're holding the free hug sign.
Yeah.
I was standing in the background, and we hadn't crossed paths yet. I was just like, "That's really interesting." No. How there I am, just waiting.
Ooh, that's true. Oh my god, I haven't thought about it that way.
So we haven't crossed paths. I'm gonna tell you what went through my mind, my first impression, and what I can remember of the day.
Yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to like go into as well. So, but I don't know. You may start.
All right. So I noticed you, and I was like, damn, that guy was hot. Like, but then I could feel you, and I was like, I love what I'm feeling from her. Like, uh, I was I was really drawn. I was drawn to you. So that when we all went for something to eat, I was like, when everyone started disappearing and it was only me and you left inside, I was like, I'm giddy inside. I'm pretty gassed up here. And I was like, you know, when I wrote that verse and I talked about like you came to my gig and what that did for my child was a lot. I was going through a period of um, very low self worth. I'd just come out of toxicity. I was
Right.
still dealing with the wounds of toxicity of that experience. So my self
Yeah.
worth was quite all over the place. And whatever it was about your presence and your energy, I felt worthy. And this is uh, before anything. This is just you're there. I'm like, I feel worthy when I'm around this girl. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I feel alive. Like so, when you said you'd come to see my gig, I was super excited because that's all I ever wanted was in my toxicity journey. I kind of felt like I was never really heard or seen properly.
Right.
And I went through this whole period of struggling with knowing what I had to offer somebody. So I always felt like I needed to bring a girl to see me do a gig because that's my best and that's what I have to offer. So for you to come to see that, I was super excited.
Yeah, I was excited. I was like, who is this cool person? Like, what the fuck? Like, like I remember thinking that you are literally doing all the things that I want to do, but I'm too scared to do because I lack that type of confidence and I still do. Uh, and yeah, I was just really like, I don't know. I just remember seeing you as this cool person that I really look up to in that way. And yeah, I was also really attracted to your energy. Like I remember uh, working that day and seeing you guys. This was actually a month into that work, and I like wasn't really vibing with that type of job. Uh, so it was like funny for me to really see like this is my path now. I can keep do this, or I can choose this, like this tribe, this people, and that type of path. Uh, and I don't know, it was like so clear for me, and I knew that like that energy was more what was like resonating with me. And so I kind of like energetically chose to like walk towards you. And so I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, we just started talking and vibing, and that was like really awesome. And like from that point I really like the job. Everything like changed for me, and I think I quit that job just like a few weeks later, uh, because everything was just unfolding, and I think you were like kind of like that turning point for me. And yeah, I don't know, it's just really awesome. I love that you're wearing my necklace, by the way.
Yeah, I've had it ever since.
Oh my god, I'm so
Some
happy.
some of it broke, but I still wear it.
Oh, wow, I love that though. That makes it just more meaningful.
Yeah. I'm very sentimental like that, but it means a lot to me, you know. So you're always around me neck, boy. Always
I'm
around me
happy.
neck. I'm telling you. Um, what I found really interesting about the experience of you is I'm going to just draw on the highlights, right?
Yeah.
The things that jump out at me was the fact that my psychic abilities were enhanced whenever you were around was one thing.
Mm.
And I personally believe you have psychic abilities that I don't have, but you just passed them on to me when you were about. That's what I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
And
That was funny.
well, it was interesting because whatever it was anyway, brought it out on me and made it real easy. My intuition was on point. Like the other thing that
Wow.
I really enjoyed were the conversations we could have, or when we did get to a kind of a toxic place, we consciously talked about it.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoyed. Even though there was conflict, we were still consciously talking about it and working it out.
Yeah, I know. That's something I absolutely love the most and love the most about our like relationship, because yeah, it really started with you, that type of openness in conversations. I really didn't have that with anyone before. So you kind of open up that part of me that I didn't really knew like existed. And yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know, I was I didn't really have that type of healthy communication with people before that. I was kind of coming from a dark place, like before coming to Cork and meeting you and all that. So that's also kind of what I mean with this turning point, because it really shifted there. And I've told you that many times before, that I really felt how I started to see this light within me that you helped me see. And I also felt like my gifts kind of like, I don't know, turned up around you as well.
Yeah, that was really
Being
interesting,
more,
wasn't it?
yeah, I know. It's everything was just so like everything just synced up all the time around you.
And it was super intense though, wasn't it? Because it was a short time, but it
Yeah.
felt like eternity. Not in a negative sense, but
Mhm.
it because I feel like I know you more than I've known people I've seen for longer.
Yeah, same. I
If it,
agree.
yeah, it's like because trying to describe it to someone who wasn't there could be quite difficult to help them grasp the magnitude of how huge it was.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's like we went through
Yeah,
the
we
whole stages very quick. The stage is really quick. Like what there's so many interesting moments. Like one moment I remember well was you were after kind of triggering me. So I was going to deal with myself, right? I was going to leave.
Right.
I was leaving the room to gather my thoughts, to come back and have a conversation. And then you were like, "Oh, don't leave." And then
Yeah.
do you remember that? And then I
Yeah, I
switched.
do.
I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" To concern. And then you were like, "How are you concerned? You were angry a second ago. Where's that gone?"
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like that to me, I love that kind of thing because it's you're just aware. You're just in the moment. It's like and also I loved your analytical ability.
Yeah, I do analyze things all
But
the time.
I loved it because it really served everything well. It was like the deeper I could see, the deeper you could see, and then the deeper we could both see.
Right. Yeah.
But you pointed out something to me in that moment that was very positive and vital for me to know about myself, and nice to hear too.
Yeah.
Like
Like, do you remember that story more in like details, like how it played out?
how it played out. It was how it played out. Essentially, was uh, so you were toxically making fun of me, right? So we used to playfully do it, but this time,
Right.
I think this time you were in your darkness, and you were like, that's it, I'm going to destroy him now. You know?
I think it was my trauma playing out for sure.
Yeah. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So I was genuinely hurt, but I was going to gather my feelings, gather my thoughts, and then you were like, "Oh, don't leave." And then I switched. I was like, "What's wrong?" And then you went, "This is my fear of abandonment playing
Yeah,
out in front of me."
exactly.
You said
Yeah.
like I push people away, and then I become abandoned. And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to abandon you. I'm just going to the next room." Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I was being so emotional that time.
but
I love it.
the interesting point was the understanding the fear of abandonment and expressing that
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
because it
you
helped.
really helped me express those things.
But it helped me to see what you were dealing with. So it meant I
Exactly.
could it meant then that if I was taking it personally, it's up to me to understand why I'm taking it personally, but also respond appropriately.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier to be present, which I think you said to me, like, you're very present, which I was unaware of. So you highlighted a lot of the positive things that I would do and helped me to see that that's part of who I am, like,
Yeah.
all from an argument.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's very true. It's just so many things like going on in me right now. Like I'm trying to really think back at times.
Remember when you went into the park and there was a lot of the hippie fellas in the park? And I felt threatened
Wait, I think,
by their existence.
oh yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
This
do
this
remember
is
that.
funny, right? This is funny because I could see that you're angry. You're angry at men in general, and right,
Yeah.
you decided to take it out on me. I could see, and I was like, all right, fine, it's grand. It's just a pattern. That's what happens. But
Right.
soon as we set in the group, I started getting threatened by one of the guys. I won't say his name just in case, but he's cool too. Anyway, I started getting threatened by his existence. Or what that sounds
Yeah.
like in everyday terms was I was getting jealous of the attention you were giving him. And I felt like you were doing it on purpose, right? But I'm not certain because it could be my own insecurities looking at it that way. But I felt like you were doing it on purpose because you were angry at men. But then I actually had an existential crisis in that moment. I had a crisis.
Yeah.
I felt I couldn't walk properly. Like I felt I all of a sudden became aware of all of my traumas that led up to that moment, and they were coming up to the surface. I could not feel my legs, nor could I catch my breath. But I said to him, I was like, Luke, bro, I'm just threatened by your existence. That's all. It's not personal. I understand the scenario. And he goes, no, that's cool, man. I get it. We'll talk about it. I was like, yeah, cool. Okay, we'll talk about it in a little bit. I'm just not able to talk now.
Right.
But then you says to me, I thought you were complete.
I thought you were complete. Right. Because we all are.
Well, obviously as well though, because part of my ego likes to display that that's the kind of person I am. Right?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was, you were being funny, but also sincere.
Yeah.
You know, you were actually like, I thought you were, and I was like, I'm obviously not. Like,
But like now when I'm looking back at it though, I'm really impressed of how really open you were and how you expressed it, and like you weren't really toxic about it at all, you know? And I always love that about you, because you always like, you just express it so clearly in a grounded way, and you kind of, you know how to kind of set that boundary on how to, like, what you need in this moment, uh, which really helped me to, like, you know, you gave me those type of tools as well to work
see,
with. And
this is exactly it then, because you point something out like that I'm unaware of, something that I just do but not aware of, right? And then you point it out, and it solidifies home to me, like, oh yeah, I do that. Oh yeah. See, it's just here it is playing out again, like. You're,
yeah.
what I used to love as well though was asking your perception of other people. Like, you know, what have I be getting off that guy there? Like, and I wouldn't tell you who it was, and you'd be spot on.
Oh yeah. Wait, do you mean when we kind of did those third eye exercises?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Or when we used to
And
do it, we did it in the pub one time as well. Like, I told you, like, hey, what do you think of what vibe you getting off this guy? And then you explained it to me.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, girl, that's totally who it is. Like,
That's That's right. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I miss those times. I don't. Yeah. I'm missing to have someone to like. I don't know, chill with that way.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss that connection too. Like that's I guess we just understood each other, or we understand each other. Like it's
Yeah.
easy to have a conversation with someone who understands it. Like
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, totally. It's just class. It's really easy. Wanted to. Well, another moment that I remember was remember that night out that we went and had a few drinks. And usually when I get a few drinks, after the whole toxic scenario that I went through, I would go out and feel depressed when I'm out. Or I'd have a few drinks and I get depressed.
Right.
We started pushing buttons to get it out of me. And then it came out of me. And this is beautiful, right? Because this is truly beautiful. So you start pushing buttons. I'm sitting there and everyone's like, come on, man, enjoy yourself. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not able, just totally, I'm inside myself. I can't have fun.
Yeah.
I'm not in a fun vibe. Like, so anyway, you kept pushing. And when it got to the extreme that I wanted to leave, in my mind, I was expecting the same scenario to play out that I had played out many times before. I go home alone and have to deal with it by myself. But you ran out after me and you're like, I'll never abandon you. Let's go talk about it. But those words, I'll never
Yeah.
abandon you, were something I never heard before in my entire life. Like no one ever said that to me before. And I actually cried about that one time to myself when I remembered it. When I was real sick, it came into my mind and I just started crying because it was beautiful, It's no one ever cared for the carer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes lots of sense.
And because of the way I interpret things, like once someone has turned up for me once, that's the universe telling me you've unlocked that achievement now. You've moved up
Yeah.
a level, So here it is now.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and I went from a world of pain and feeling loneliness to feeling seen, heard, and secure and comfortably
Yeah.
vulnerable without being lonely vulnerable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I kind of know, like, now when reflecting on it and looking back, I kind of realized that you were the first person for me to express that to. And I think the reason is because you kind of gave me that trust in the first place. Like, I've never had that type of trust with a man before. That, like, because like you said to me, like that one time when you said that you weren't gonna abandon me, like I really felt that. And you never broke that trust ever, and you haven't really. So I think from that point, it kind of shifted something within me. And so I kind of felt, I don't know, it just, I don't know, I just felt like um, I felt that our bond was really strong from that point. And so I really wanted to like give that favor back, that type of trust to you that I felt for you.
well, thanks, Mai. That's beautiful. Because it heals. It helped me to heal a lot.
Yeah.
It really helped me to heal a lot. Like, the other interesting thing that I found from it was when you met someone else, but you came to tell me. You came to tell me to my face.
That's right. Yeah.
Even though you could have done the Irish goodbye. Do you know the Irish goodbye? The Irish
Tell
goodbye.
me.
So if you're out on a night out, right, and you want to leave, you tell everyone you're going to the toilet and you just leave. That's the Irish goodbye. You leave without saying goodbye to everybody.
Oof.
I don't know why we do that. Sometimes, sometimes people are embarrassed because they're going home early or something. I don't know. So they just duck. to just leave.
Yeah.
So, because you were going back home, you could have just done the Irish goodbye, but you didn't. You came to give me the respect and said, I don't want you to see it online and be offended.
Yeah.
And I thought that was class.
Yeah. Damn. So many beautiful moments.
Like as hard and all as it was to accept the rejection of long term, it was much nicer in the long term to have that respect shown.
Yeah, that was that trust I wanted, like, again, to like give you. Like, I really felt that, or I don't know, like that's the type of relationships I want. And I kind of started to realize that when meeting you, like, whoa, what type of friendships and what types of relationships in general do I want? Like, I want that type of trust, that deep, intimate um, bond. So yeah, I just felt like, and loyalty is really, like, I don't know, a really important trait that I want in others. So I kind of need and want to be that example myself.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it would be weird for me to not tell you because I wanted you in my life.
Well, it was class because to me it helped me see a pattern was closing, because I had
Yeah.
previous encounters where people just dipped and made up an excuse, and then I seen things online and it was hurt. So to me it was like a chapter is closing. When you're very aware of your patterns but you don't know how to get out of them, but then you see them closing because people turn up and treat you a certain way and you're like, oh yeah, it's closing now, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I was in
Yeah, I
that
think
kind
so.
of Well, I was in that. My pattern was essentially to either meet someone who was incredibly toxic or meet someone who was emotionally unavailable, or meet somebody who would just use me and disappear. Now,
Yeah.
because I'm assuming it's in my karma because I was probably like that when I was younger and unaware. So I don't,
Right.
it's not a sob story and it's not a, oh, poor me. It's just a lesson that I had to learn.
Yeah.
But to see you treat me in that respect really kind of helped my self-esteem as well, which is weird because I was being rejected but respected. How it from my viewpoint. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
um, so that it was an ambiguous feeling of, oh, this is kind of nice.
Oh, so how did you like process that from
How
that
did I
point?
oh, it's a good question. How did I process that? um I just learned, I knew that what you represented to me was a deeper lesson in
Mm.
letting go of hang-ups. And 1 second, oh, Zoom has just told me something. Okay, thanks, Zoom.
Yeah, I got it too.
They removed the 40-minute limit. Thanks, guys. um how did I process it? So I understood, like, okay, in this relationship I was challenged in ways that I wasn't challenged before, but I was also validated in ways I wasn't validated before. So what do I need to learn about it? Well, it's obviously teaching me about how to be friends with a woman in a non-sexual way,
Yeah.
because I had addiction to it. So obviously the extreme would have to arrive as well. The other extreme would have to arrive if I was really to learn and purify or integrate negative and positive. I had to go through the purification process. And so I was like, well, man, it's essentially you've made a best friend. And how great is that? So
Yeah.
no matter how much you want to tie her down and do dirty things to her, you got to let that go, because that can't have a hold over you. You know,
Yeah.
that can't have the hold over you that it used to have before. That used to be, for me, that was the main driving force. My sister even pointed out to me, she goes, you'd only ever see the body, you didn't even see what their face looked like, you know?
Mm.
And I was like, that's actually very true. So I had I let go of it. I just let go of it and I journeyed past it and I focused on the positives. And I thought about, I also learned about scarcity mentality. Sometimes when men are rejected, they feel that there's a scarcity mentality that no one else is going to turn up and that you don't have any other options. But that's only as if you have a low self-esteem or a low kind of outlook on yourself. So I thought, well, I mean, the universe always turns up for you as long as you're working towards it. Like, so I've made a
Yeah.
best friend forever and a very deep connection that's incredibly beautiful. So that's the long run. That's forever. That can't be broken. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
take that positive, man, and run with it, because the next reflection that turns up, because you're leveling up all the time, the next one would be everything you're looking for in a long-term relationship. Look at it in the sense of a step along the way. And how beautiful
Yeah.
was it that it could be that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, what was it? One of my favorite traits in a woman is the face.
Yeah.
And your face is gorgeous. I just love it. I just love it. I see it and I just want to kiss it and lick it. Right? I just want to touch it, kiss it. So I was like, well, find the positive too. At least your spiritual lessons are beautiful looking too, man. How about that?
Yes. I love that.
But then as well, like I just learned as well, just have a laugh about things too. Like don't be so serious, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you
Yeah.
expect? What did you expect for her to stay in Ireland forever?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I was only in Ireland for like 3 months, and that time felt forever. Like it felt like I was there for like at least 6 months. And like I was planning on 9 months or something. Or just really like, I don't know, I thought I was gonna like live there forever in like some way, but then just I don't know really what happened. Everything just went like, oh, gotta go back home now. And yeah, but it was like a really just so much happened within me. And like I think we only knew each other for like 1 or 2 months.
I think it was 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months, right.
Mm.
And that's just crazy, like how much that have happened in 2 months. Like what?
But we did spend a fair amount of time together in those 2 months.
True, we did.
You know what I feel like? I feel like we went through um we went through a toxic relationship, but it wasn't toxic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And because everything happened fast. You know, when you meet a toxic relationship, it happens really fast because the narcissist or is trying to, doesn't have to be just a narcissist. I don't think, I'm not an expert, but they're trying to get it, they're trying to make it happen really, really fast. I think a codependent does that too, which is a symptom I would have too. You make everything happen really fast out of a lack of trust,
Yeah.
I think. But with us, it happened really fast, but seemed to be for the opposite reason. Like trust, when the trust arrived, everything happened really fast after that as well, like, or even faster.
Right. Yeah.
It blew my mind, the level of duality that existed in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't used that type of word, but yeah, I guess so. Like, could you explain how that played out? Like duality. Like in what way?
It was both negative and positive at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much shadow work and growing and empowerment.
That was unreal. Do you remember the shamanic healing session as well?
Do you mean with
With Carmen?
Carmen? Yeah. when we went there together.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was you who got a session, right?
Yeah. Remember I got one and then you got one and I went with you then.
Did we do it together like that the same day?
No, different days.
Right.
Do you remember she was having you were resisting what she was doing, and then I coughed. I was holding in the cough. I didn't want to interrupt, and then I coughed, and she said, "When you coughed, it exactly helped me get past that resistance."
Wait, did I say that?
No, Carmel said it.
Carmen said, right.
Yeah, because you were resistant. She was working on some trauma, but you were very resistant. And she said, when I coughed, you kind of jumped, and she was able to get past it.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, that's when I got a session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
This is when we discovered when I discovered my connection to the Arcturians.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was decent.
So much.
What did you take away from this scenario when you went back home? What did you find had changed or helped, or what did you bring?
Damn, so much. So much. Like, I don't know. I felt so uplifted. Like meeting you, you really got me to love parts of me that I didn't knew existed and parts of me that I hated and rejected. So, and you were like, I never met someone before that like constantly like boosted me and uplifted me and gave me compliments. Like my Leo was thriving every day. Like I felt so seen and heard. Like you really approved all of me all the time. Like everything I said, everything I did, how I looked, like everything. And so I really felt like a goddess walking. And so I don't know. It just my confidence was on another level when I got
Can you
home.
clarify? Can you clarify though for some people who might be listening that it wasn't in a simpy way, or was it?
In a simple way.
Simpy.
Simple. Oh no, 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 no. No, that's the thing. Like it was so authentic the way you just like it was a natural thing for you to do. It wasn't like, because I feel when people like kind of want to simp and kind of want to like they want to get something from you. Like and so it's very easy to see through that and then kind of creates this resistance. But I didn't really feel that from you. And yeah, so it was really interesting to just like it was your natural way of being. And because you were like that to everyone really, it's just that we hanged out with each other all the time. So
Yeah.
I like got it all the time because of that. And so yeah, it's really just you being you, and like so much positivity and optimism in you all the time. And so you open up that part of me that's very optimistic too and very like sees the positive uh, in everything. And so like I could not see that in you as well,
Oh yeah,
so that was a really beautiful reflection.
It's a good way to put it, yeah. That's class.
Yeah. So yeah, I really just I learned to really trust in myself, to love myself, to love all the shadow parts of me, because I really did deep shadow work before Cork, before meeting you. And but then I was kind of like with a person who I was kind of having a crush on, but he didn't like me that way. And so he was kind of like just showing me all shadow parts, but he was kind of like, I don't know, he wasn't really that like he was in a bad place himself. So he only, I don't know, I kind of felt bad being around him. Like and he kind of like I don't know, mention language. He kind of like I'm Swedish, by the way, for those who don't know. So English is not my capital. No, what is it? My what's
Capital
the word?
works. That works.
Capital is that how you say it?
No, that's not how you say it, but it works in a poetic sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I love I love those poetic descriptions sometimes that you give. Like,
yeah, I happen to have a special vocabulary. God, I lost myself with my
you were talking about
thoughts.
doing the shadow work with a guy before, and you felt bad around him.
Right. Yeah, he spotted out all the like flaws in me all the time, and it was kind of like, I don't know, I felt like a demon around him. Like he basically like, I don't know, said I was, or maybe, I don't know, I was repressing my inner demons. I think that's what it was really. But so he kind of like just, I don't know, I really got to see all my toxic parts, and I was kind of like, I don't know, I didn't like myself, so, but I wanted to change. Like I wanted to start love myself, but I didn't know how to. And so I was guided through this journey, and it all played out. And so I got home, and suddenly it was like, damn, it all clicked now. Like I got the shadow from that person and from that period of my life. And then after Ireland and meeting you, it was kind of like I got this light spread over it. So I got the two opposites, and they kind of like emerged into one. And so I don't know, I feel like I was totally a different person, because when I got home again from Sweden to Sweden, my life changed from that point. Like it felt, I didn't attract the same scenarios anymore. Like it wasn't me going back to where I was when I left, So it's, I don't know, it kind of showed how much of a different vibration I were at getting home.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel that because I haven't attracted the same scenarios either. Of course, I've been in lockdown and isolated, so it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The only place I really go is the shop,
Yeah, exactly.
How are they going to develop a toxic narcissistic relationship with somebody in the shop,
That could happen.
I come home because the cashier keeps abusing me emotionally.
Oh fuck.
Every time I try to tell her something as a euro, she keeps telling me it's not a euro. Like,
gaslighting.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Even when I scan it, she keeps telling me that the scanner is wrong, and I can't deal with her anymore.
That's actually like a typical scenario, though. Like that actually happens. I feel like.
Yeah, like this is a cup, isn't it? Because she convinced me the other day that it's not. Like, I feel like we should conclude now because we've been chatting for about an hour, and I don't like to have these things any longer.
Oh really? Damn.
Yeah.
Go that fast.
Yeah, but we can do a part 2 again.
Right. I feel like there's just,
because it can be a continuous discussion. Like,
yeah, I would love that. It's really fun to just sit and chat. And yeah, I don't know, it's a very growing experience to do this.
Yeah, it's class. So we could keep it a continuous conversation that happens on the channel. Welcome, Moa. You've become a player in the channel now. And
yes. I love that.
maybe maybe over time as well, we could like have more guests in and have them speak as well and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool. Along the lines of this kind of conversation. Like.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good idea.
So if anyone is watching out there right now and you would like to be included in a conversation like this about what you learned dating somebody and are you still connected and spirituality and all that kind of stuff, right? Shadow, light, acceptance, love, joy, staying friends with someone, and as a man, any men out there who are still friends with somebody who they still fancy but are cool with that, let us know too. What's that like for you? Have you journeyed through addiction and come out the other side?
Right.
Let us know. It's class. Pure Tom. Are you cool enough to say that hot girl is my friend?
Exactly.
Do you have so before we wrap it up, do you have a message you would like to give the people?
Oh, I don't know. I guess being authentic no matter what life throws at you, like really, like I feel like that's the key, to just stay authentic in all scenarios, because that's really how, like, that's the theme for us. I feel like we were just being authentic with each other through the whole process of everything, just speaking and flowing with emotions and whatever we wanted to express, and it just clicked all the time. It was so cool. So yeah, authentic meetings are really what creates meaning.
That's decent. That's class. That's actually class. Okay, so We Are All Class is just a journey to the why. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yurt, cuz.
Please don't feed the demons. They get big and you only see them. Please don't feed the demons. Accepting them is the only way to defeat them. This too will pass, cause nothing lasts forever, no. When life gets you down, I promise it gets better, oh. It exists in the mind like the past and the future and the concept of time. The sad story that my ego derives and it keeps me asleep and I'm deep in its lies. I thought about suicide, but I'd rather live. I fucking hate myself, but I have to forgive.